Alright, we have our plans for our brass flask. It's made out of acrylic plastic. We have three views. We have the front view here, we have the top view up here, and the side view here. This is called an orthographic drawing. There's the title up there, drawn by myself. Here we go. Now, we're going to use acrylic plastic. Acrylic plastic can be polished so you can actually see through it like it was glass. We're going to leave the paper on the side because the paper is going to protect the finished surface underneath. We're going to use the milling machine to do some of our cuts on here. And the cuts that we want to do on the milling machine, or the surfaces that we want to machine, have this tick symbol. This tick symbol means that they are machined surfaces. The other surfaces we are going to cut on the bandsaw, and then we are going to dress with emery cloth. Alright, first measurement. Across the bottom is 112. So we'll measure across the bottom, 112, and we will mark that off. And we're going to use a pencil, a nice sharp pencil, and we will square that off like this. Pencil on the line, bring the square up to the pencil. Now we have two angles. We have a 70-degree angle there, and it's not marked here, but it is repeated 70 degrees. Alright, so I'm going to take my engineer's bevel and I'm going to set it on 70 degrees. And there's a little mark, I don't know if you can see that little mark there, and then we have the 70 there. On the other side there's a little screw there, a clamp screw there, and here. I need to check that it just moved again. I'm going to move it around till it is on 70 degrees. 70 degrees, and if you catch it on the light, you'll be able to see the mark there, and 70 is written there. Alright, now 70 degrees, sloping up from the bottom corner. So we're going to sit it right on the corner, and then mark that off. And then we're going to turn that over, like so, and we're going to mark it from the other corner. Now at the top, here we're going to come backwards at 45 degrees, come back down. So I'm going to reset the protractor to 45 degrees. And lock it up there, lock it there. Okay, so I've locked it with these two screws, here and here, and it is sitting on 45 degrees. Let's see if we can catch that on the light. You can see the mark here, and 45. So, now we're going to come back from the top. Now this material is already cut to the correct size. The height of it was 40 millimeters. This 40 millimeters here. This is 40 millimeters high. So coming back 40 degrees, from 45 degrees from there, and there. Nice sharp pencil. And we have a measurement here, which is 14. Now that measurement we could do with odd leg calipers and do a scratch across there. So, odd leg calipers. Odd leg calipers look like that. They have odd legs. Not unusual, I wouldn't think. Alright, so we're going to set that on 14 millimeters. So we put the hook of the odd leg over the end, and then we set the point on 14 millimeters. Getting it nice and precise. There we go. And then we're going to put a scratch across our work, like that. Now I don't know whether you can see that line across there. You probably can't. You can on the paper quite easily, but I'm just going to reinforce that with pencil so you can see it. Alright, now we've got two drop down pieces here, and actually I don't have a measurement on here for that. What is it? This plan is to scale, so I can take that straight off the plan. That says it is 50 millimeters. Alright, so how do we do that? So let's measure in from the end. So from this end it says 30 from that edge, and so it will be the same from there. So we'll do that on here. So we'll come in 30, mark it, come in 30 from the left hand side, make sure that steel rule's lined up, mark it, and with our pencil I'm going to mark it right from the top. That is going to help me on the milling machine to guide the milling machine to do what I want it to do. And that's pretty much marked out. So the material to be removed is here. And this corner here as well. So we can go straight to the milling machine now and start cutting this piece out in here. Now this is our milling machine here. Let's zoom back out. We have a number of controls. We have the on-off switch here, the light, which is really handy. We have the clamp here for clamping up the vise, and we have a number of hand wheels that feeds the table towards the back stand and this way, and we have controls hand wheels which feed the table left and right. So backwards and forwards, left and right. Alright, now I'm going to zoom in on what we're going to do. When we set this up, we're going to take a piece of acrylic plastic, and we have our pencil line across here. Now we want that pencil line to be parallel with the top of the vise, this edge here, and so to help us do that, rather than put it right on the edge of the vise, that would mean the tool may touch the top of the vise, we're going to bring it up 1mm. And interestingly enough, the steel rule, the back, the thickness of the steel rule is actually 1mm. So I'm going to take that up there. I'm just lining that up now, and I'm going to use the hammer. I'll just clamp that vise up gently, and I'm going to hold that steel rule there, and I'm going to just tap that now, a little bit that side, a little bit that side, until it's exactly on that line, and that line now is 1mm above the top of the vise. Alright, so we're going to position our tool, and I'm going to start cutting on the right hand side. That's backwards and forwards control, and then left and right hand wheels. I really want to line up the edge of the tool with that right hand side. Let me just see, we can see all that. Right, here we go. So I'm lining up the tool with the right hand mark and pencil line. You can see this side, but I don't think you can see that side. Wind it this way, you will. So there's a number of ways we can do it. We can bring the tool, shift the table across until the edge of the tool. That's probably quite a good way actually. Lines up with that line, that vertical line there. Alright, let's start cutting. Let's set our depth as well. So I'm going to bring our tool down. Well, this time I'm just going to sit that steel rule under there and move it backwards and forwards just until it just touches the tool. That's it. I can just feel it touching and no more. I don't want to bring the tool down too hard on the steel rule because it may damage the tool. Alright, on goes the machine. And we're going to move, bring the table towards me. I'm bringing the table towards me this way. Keep your fingers well away. Don't be tempted to swish the filings away with a steel rule, they may get caught up. You can use a brush. You could use the compressed air gun. Looking very nice. I'm happy with that. stop there and we'll see what we're doing. And you can see behind that we are cutting, and we're going to cut right across. Now I'm being a little bit greedy, so I'm going to do this in 2 stages. I'm going to lift the tool up. So I'm only cutting half the depth this way, and I'm going to carry on now and finish that off. Now we are cutting a plastic which is reasonably brittle, and while if the tool has a lot of contact with the material, then it's going to cut quite well. But as soon as we break through the other side, then we need to slow down the feed. Now the feed is the speed that I'm moving the vise this way, away from the, or moving the plastic into the tool. There we go. Just as it breaks through the other side, I need to lighten up the pressure. You hear that clicking sound? That's it breaking through the other side. Nice and slowly. Take your time. You see how fast I'm rotating the hand wheel? Not very fast. Nice and slow and steady. Now I've gone right through. It's a good idea to only use one of these controls at a time. Yeah? I guess that makes sense. I'm going to shift the hand wheel to move the tool across, do another cut. Right, now I'm going to move the tool across that vertical line there, nice and slowly. Beautiful. Alright, now I'm going to set the depth of cut again. You can see in here this piece where I started, and I think I was just a little bit greedy trying to cut that full height from here to here out in one go. So I've done it in 2 half pieces, and that's what I'd like you to do as well. So we're going to put the steel rule on there. We're going to wind the tool down until it just, you can just feel the slightest, unlock it, move the tool down until you just feel it touching that steel rule. Just touching it, no more. Lock that off, lock the spindle, steel rule out, and now we'll reposition that tool to go in there, chop through there and then chop through there. Away we go. starting to break through the other side, so we're going to lighten up on the feed, the speed of feed. That's how fast I'm moving the table so that the tool moves across the work. And there we go. Nice. We're going to come back and we're going to move the table to our next cut. Now whenever you're using the milling machine, the tool, once it's cutting the metal, it should be cutting fresh material all the time. This is acrylic. If I stopped the feed, then the tool would simply rub, would overheat and could blunt. If you're machining brass or steel, it will certainly do some damage to the tool. If the tool is simply rubbing, it's creating friction, it's not cutting. When the tool's cutting fresh metal all the time, or fresh material, then the material itself is cooling it down. Bigger machines in industry would have a coolant running on that all the time. Cutting fluid of some sort to keep the temperature of the tool down and to protect the tool and lubricate it. Rightio, it's starting to break through now. Slowly does it. As I've said already, this is a brittle material, and so we just need to go cautiously. Right, now I'm going to move it across to the finishing line. The vertical line on the left hand side. Just remember, precision is important. Final cut on this part anyway. Beautiful. And the tool back, and I might take the other way, like that, put it out the back. There we go. Let's zoom that back out again. Okay, there we go. Nicely finished piece of material. Yep. Nice, crisp, square lines. Nice. Right, before I move on to the next stage, I'll give this a quick clean down. It's not just about keeping the cleaners. Right, we set up the line on our piece of plastic, like we did before with that one, to match up with the steel rule. The tool doesn't need to change its height at all. So if I wind that out, so you can see that steel fits in there nicely and lines up with the line on our piece of work. Right, so we're going to do 2 cuts. Nice and quietly. So what we're doing now is we're machining our second sloping surface. That's the first one there. This is a 45-degree surface. And by tilting our work and lining up the cut line where we want to cut to, parallel with the top of the vice jaws, we can machine that off. temptation is to get in a bit of a hurry. You kind of think, this is taking forever, but any rush movements at the moment could just shatter that plastic. Trust me, I've been there.